Let's get in a very important voice in the sugar industry in the state of UP. Siddharth Sriram, Chairman of Mawana Sugars, joins us live. Mr. Sriram, good to have you. Thanks so much for taking the time out.
Thank you.
You know,
Thank
the
you.
general market perception is that the new party is fairly proactive as far as the sugar industry goes, is probably more pragmatic as far as the welfare of the mills goes as well. And there are some other positives which we'll discuss. But what do you make of this change of guard? Net-net, do you think it's going to be a more optimistic scenario for the sugar industry in the state of UP, which was going through a troubled time in the last 3-4 years?
See, my view is that UP is the largest state. It's also the largest population. And therefore, it's also got the largest opportunity and scope for development. It really is the key to India's long-term growth in industry, in GDP, in state GDP, in every sense of the word. With respect to the sugar industry, there's no doubt that we've had a difficult time. During Mulayam Singh Ji's previous incarnation as the Chief Minister, he had enunciated a very attractive policy, the UP Sugar Incentive Scheme, which was scrapped by the subsequent government. Now, the subsequent government did indeed do a lot for the upliftment of Dalits, etc., and that itself is going to have a multiplier effect. But this issue of the sugar industry, which is one of the largest agro-industries in the whole country, needs to be set right. You see, year after year, the cane prices are raised by the state government because of state advised price rules, but the selling prices of sugar are regulated by the center, and the gap that needs to be there between cane prices and sugar prices is kept low. So if there is a gap of 5 or 6 rupees between the sugar cane prices and the sugar prices, then the industry is quite healthy. But right now there is zero gap. In fact, it's negative. So how the millers are going to be kept content, the farmers are going to be kept content, and the consumers are also going to be kept content is a conundrum which needs to be solved once and for all. Basically, you cannot keep consumer prices low when raw material prices are rising in the agro-industry.
Sure.
Somebody is going to get very badly hurt, and right now it's the millers.
Agree, but Mr. Sriram, that's a problem that has been going on for the last many years without a solution coming in it, because it requires involvement of the center and the state simultaneously agreeing on a common agenda. That may or may not take shape in the immediate future, but what we have seen, or what I have heard in the past as well, is that Mulayam Singh is very much in favor of even decontrol of sugar, and again, which is not a state level subject but a national level subject. But do you believe that at some point of time he'll be able to wield his weight and try and give a preference for decontrol of sugar, which effectively would mean that prices of sugar may rise in conjunction with or in tandem with how the cane prices rise, and therefore that solves the problem for you in terms of the price mismatch that happens?
I'm sure that's his intention, because he would like to keep the farmers happy with attractive prices of sugarcane. And therefore the contra, that the consumer must pay a higher price, also must be in place, and that's a central government subject. So they have to work in tandem together. Now, the central government passes the levy sugar area. Right now the levy is 10,000 rupees a ton lower than the market price, and the industry, and therefore the farmers, are really subsidizing that. That's not fair. Secondly, about 70 to 80% of sugar produced goes to the industrial sector, whether it's soft drinks or pharma or food consumption, but not to direct home consumers. Only 20% goes to home consumers. Therefore, we are talking about a very small impact on society per se. And if everything is going up, all food grains are going up, and only sugar is not, in relative terms, that's very unfair for the largest agro-industry after cotton in the whole country. Now, the Rangarajan committee has been formed, but the structure is much the same as past committees. The ISMA as well as the CII is trying to win limited gains such as the levy sugar, such as the prices for consumers being allowed to rise, such as additional exports to take place. But the long-term solution is still evading us. And that can only happen if all the constituents sit together, not over a protracted period of time, and understand that this will be a transitional phase, and we move rapidly on this. Aside from this, if I may add, the infrastructure in UP for sugar cane is abysmally poor. The roads, the storage conditions, the agronomy conditions are quite poor. And the capacity for sugar crush that has been installed by the industry can virtually never be met. And therefore, this also needs to be looked at jointly by the state government and the industry. We hope that there will be active movement on this front.